Hey guys, still here. Welcome back to Ash and Shadows. Yesterday I asked you if you wanted me to see, or if you wanted to see me play the Bear vs. Dragon campaign. 60 upvotes or more and I would go through with the campaign. I got those 60 upvotes in about 2 hours, so as of current there are 230 plus upvotes, and that means we have a go. So let's have a look at that campaign. For reference, yes, I will also be covering Busan Pocket, but that's going to be the last one that I cover. So first, Bear vs. Dragon. Now, I don't really like the way that China plays. For my taste, they are too much focused on strength and numbers, whereas I prefer to play on strength in high value units, so that you don't usually get overwhelmed with the amount of units that you have. Now, we need to control Vladivostok, we need to control Kavalerovo, and we need to make sure that we don't lose too many units doing that, or at least that's my part of the plan. Now let's index what we have and what they have. The first sector that I want to try and go for is Dongning over here in the north. It's an airport. Allows me to quickly bring in aircraft instead of having to rely on this one, which means that at some point I don't think the aircraft can actually make it anymore. Another key zone, actually one that might even be more important, is Vladivostok. With this one under my control, I don't really have access to an airport, but I do have access to a standard port. And that allows me to quickly bring in land units, which, well, to be fair, are going to be more useful than aerial units. So we're going to have to go through Kravtsovka. Kravtsovka is being defended by the Border Regiment. These guys have a bunch of Modestroki, Cornet, and a lot of these boomerangs. And not just a few, they have 52 in total. Holy crap. I really hope the Chinese have some sort of good IFV in these divisions on the left that I can use. Besides that, they have 18 Tiger Cornets. These guys fire high-end ATGMs. Fortunately, it's not the Tiger Fei with the thermobarics. That would really end my infantry very quickly. I hope that these guys don't do it as badly. Then, anti-air company, a couple of Verba infantry, a Buk M2E with long range and a very, very high accuracy, bunch of Buyusas, yeah, sorry, I'm not going to try that again. Veteran Morskayas, or veteran Marines, if I'm not mistaken. With a BMP-1P, so that's not an autocannon, it's just a standard 2A28 Grom. Cornets, Volk Recon, and finally, oh my shit, we got the Iskander. In case you didn't see the previous campaign, the Iskander is a missile that does a very high amount of HE. This thing has a range of 60 kilometers, which means it can fire all the way across the map, regardless pretty much of whatever map you're looking at. Then we have a couple of 2S7 peons and some Potnos. So these guys are not too bad. I think if I can get some pretty decent tanks and maybe some air support, well, not maybe air support, IFVs, I should be able to go through these. Next sector. Ooh, T95s. These are going to be fun. These have a large portion of AP damage that they put out. 27. Rate of fire is lacking, but with 23 frontal armor and that 27 AP output, I will have my hands full trying to kill these. Fortunately, though, they do not have a command unit, and they only have 2 initiatives, so if they move, they will not be able to attack on the same turn. What is this? Rifle Battalion. So far, these guys are the easiest I've seen. These guys do not do as much damage as the rest of them. Up in the north, Dongning. More Modstroki, a couple of AA, SU-122-54, and the Sprout. I have played with the Sprout. These things go down very easily, but they put out a very high amount of damage before they do, and they have a range of 2450. And finally, this is not a T-34-85. No, these are Black Eagles. 23 frontal, 24 AP. 20 AP, 21 frontal armor, and T90 AMs, 23 frontal armor and 24 AP. Oh joy. And then there are some units that they haven't even called in yet. Okay, what do I have navy-wise here opposing me? 2 Krivaks and a bunch of Nanushkas. These have very long range. These have an okay range. What I can put up against that are the Haobai. I think that these guys might actually be able to overwhelm these ships. And do it very quickly as well. I also have a couple of Nox frigates. These things are not particularly good at defending themselves. At least I don't think so. And we have 1 Muna. Okay. What do we have here? This is the Marine Regiment. Jogokte. Pretty decent anti-tank weapon on these. And Kongbang. They're pretty similar. Corsian transport is not that good. BTR 60 PB is just a motorized vehicle with a machine gun on it. 4 reconnaissance units. And we can float in yet another couple of marines. Oh, and some tanks. Some tanks, actually. If I can land these guys quickly, I might be able to take Vladivostok. What do we have for planes? A5s. Anti-ship units. These things carry 2, and I can call in 8 of them. Alright, let's go. We're going to immediately hit that naval sector. Now for my land forces. Infantry battalion. Oh my god, you're expecting me to take on 50 plus boomerangs and lethal infantry with that? These are militia-trained 15-man squads. The ZBD-05 is a pretty good IFV. How much damage do you do? 4 on the autocannon and 25 on the missile. Missile cannot be fired on the move, so if these things are just gonna come thundering down a hill, I will be able to take them out. I have 5 frontal armor, so at max range I will be able to damage them. No, I will not be able to damage them. These things both have 4 AP and 5 frontal. So I will not be able to damage them, and they will not be able to damage me. What's this? ZTZ 99s. Now we're getting somewhere. This is probably going to be the answer to my prayers. These are going to be able to take out the units in Krasovka. And finally we have a reconnaissance group here. Liren and a couple of reconnaissance jeeps, but it's a very small group. Alright, well these boys have nowhere else to go, so we might as well send them forward. Now what can we call in? We can call in the North Fleet, which has an attack squadron, pretty similar to what I already showed you. East Sea Fleet, Type 23s, lots of them as well. I don't really like these things. Yes, they're pretty good for fire support, but that's about it. Because that 7,000 meter range is going to be an issue. It means that I cannot get close. Shanghai class are a bunch of, well, AA boats, if you will, but only with guns. And the Chongju are long-range artillery platforms with 6 Munas. Not too enthusiastic about those just yet. 3rd Infantry Regiments. Jidanbing with Commando Mortar and the ZSD-90. AP is even lower on this thing, it's a 25mm autocannon. Tank Shu 98, really high AP output on these things. And the Long Dui. That's the long-range fire and forget HGM top attack weapon. Couple of Chilpan. Yeah, I can see these guys being useful. Artillery Company. A bunch of standard arty with a couple of Waishi long-range HE tactical missile. Anti-Air Company. Hongjian. who have yet to learn the fact that they are an anti-air company, because they're definitely ATGM guys. AMRADs and the PGZ-88, sorry, PGZ-80. Pretty good against air. These things are really good against air. The issue is that they're locatable. So if someone deploys seed, bye-bye to your AMRADs. By the way, these AMRADs might be able to be deployed against infantry as well. But I think that with 144 rounds of ammo and 40 rounds a minute, they're gonna run out pretty quick. Air recon. Just a couple of unarmed reconnaissance helos with poor stealth. Oh, great. ZTQ-02, 12 reconnaissance tanks. Pretty good units, but they just do not have the capacity of moving and firing at the same time. Rate of fire is a bit low, but at least these are tanks that can spot for themselves. Red arrows. These guys are long-range fire and forget top attack weapons. The OP-125 and the PTZ-89. Definitely an anti-tank company. You're just gonna have to be real careful deploying these, because they have virtually no armor on them. The whole group. Next, an infantry battalion. Yeah, no. Just no thanks. Attack helicopter battalion. 1 command helo. A couple of hot helicopters. Z5As with... Holy crap, these things are packed to the brims with rocket pods. 1 HE? Oh. 1 HE, okay. The CAIC Z10K. Laser-guided anti-tank weapons. And 90mm rocket pods doing HE. And the Z10s are anti-air / anti-ground. They can do both, but they don't have rocket pods. These are definitely gunships, which seem to be focused, I'd say, on anti-tank warfare. Now, I was recommended that I bring in this group immediately, because it's going to be very handy in, well, for starters dealing with tanks. And they do have some flexibility, although they have no FOB with them. And then finally we can call in a tank regiment. Holy crap, that's a lot of armor. That's 84 armor in one group. They do have some cargoes, they have a couple of command units, they even have some AA, but they have no recon. Okay. And finally, the Korean Marines Regiment. Jogokdae, Byonggae, Fire and Forget HGMs, Kongbang, and an assortment of a couple of light tanks. Well, light-ish. Air Force then. Fighter Squadron. Definitely fighters and, well, fighter-ish. These things are multi-roles with an air-to-ground role. But, look, in vanilla Wargame I do enjoy using those rocket pod planes because they're pretty much throwaway. But most of the time, they might even make it out. With 7.8 kilometer anti-air range and more, that is just no longer true. Next up, we have Snowy Owls. Sorry, this is the Snowy Owl. Long-range anti-tank. 6 missiles on that. That's not bad. J-16s, long-range bombers. And these things actually carry a good number of air-to-air missiles as well, those PL-15s. And finally the J-10B, cluster bombs. Pretty good if you're in a pinch for a bunch of tanks. What else do we have? Multi-role. Lijian. I've already used these in the Russian campaign myself, which is interesting to see these return. And the J-10A. Bunch of napalm bombers. Okay, the 8th Air Division. Seed aircraft. And large bombers, IL-102As. And finally the 18 Air Squadron. Yeah. Make 25 PDs. I don't really think that these are going to be too useful in this campaign. And then I can IL 102As. Okay. Now, seeing that my objective here is Vladivostok, I want to try and quickly take this sector over. What do we have here? This is Wonsan Harbor. Wonsan Harbor is not too difficult generally. Especially with the fact that I have quite a few ships that I can use. So I'm going to call in both marine groups. And that means that I'm going to have to embark these gentlemen. Yes, yes. Land forces, Korean Marines, embark. Alright, both of them are out of initiative. That's fine. I first need to go through that naval sector anyway. Still have 20 points left. If I want to go south, that shouldn't be too much of a problem, because the Marines will take care of this. So with these, I think we're going to have to go north to Dongning. That's the only way they can go. Well, they can go to Vladivostok if I really want them to, but I think Dongning, capturing an airport early, is going to be more efficient. What sort of planes do they have? SU-23, sorry, SU-34, and MiG-3. Sorry, no, MiG-35, learn to read. Cluster bombs. And finally, SU-57s, long-range anti-air, and even longer range anti-air. Do they have any actual AA? They do not. Aside from that, I see one glaring weakness in this battle group. They all have one lonely command unit that's capable of holding exactly one sector. I think we're going to have to send in the helicopter group here. It's going to take them a while to actually get to the front line, but once they are there, we should be able to at least snipe the command vehicles and get these guys to die, because they will not be able to flee. There's no other escape sector here. Leaves me with 5 points. Can I call in anything for 5 points? I think the answer is very much no. Nope, nothing. Now I know I can attack in Kraftsovka if I really want to at the moment. Not really, because I don't have my tanks there yet. Which means that this would be a fight of 24 UBI versus a couple of pretty angry Modestrelki with their boomerang escorts. Also, I have no cohesion. I hope this tank group has some cohesion. Yeah, they do. Okay, so I'm going to wait, and I'm going to let the enemy attack me, making sure that my tank regiments are there. And now they brought in air. Okay, this is a better position. Now I have 3 points from cohesion. I have my tanks available. These tanks all have an APS, so even if these things fire off their missile, I will still be able to do damage against them. And I expect that if I push forward fast with those ZTZs, I can fire at these things before they can fire back at me. The problem will be the Cornets. The Cornets do a lot of damage, 27. Does not go through the top armor. These things are just direct attack. 21, so they're going to take quite a bit of damage if they get hit. They have 4 command units, so they can hold most of the sectors, but not all of them. My plan, by the way, what sort of air do they have? The air power that they have is just air to air. Nothing else. Okay, that's good. Oh, and they still have those. Yeah. It's going to have to be a tank fight, mostly, because I simply do not trust my UBI to be of any use. The transports for the UBI, sure. I trust those to be handy, but the UBI themselves, not so much. Not so much. I expect them to come thundering down this road, there and there. So I'm going to greet them here, there, and here with a couple of tanks. Once we've outlasted the first murderous wave, I then expect to be able to push through Charlie to Vladivostok, capturing that sector and bringing in additional reinforcements from there, and trying to capture Charlie for additional command points. I cannot call in that many units. That is unfortunate. Okay, well, this is it then. You guys go here, you guys head up north with the 3 group holding there. And the ZTZ-99s holding here. That's the full group anyway. You're going to hold there in the middle. And you boys are going to sit here. Okay, let's see how this first match is going to play out. How much do these things cost me? Not too much. Not too much, 25 points only. And that's including the infantry and the transport. That's good news. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Time to dissuade those cornets from coming in too close. That's one. Not surprised if that's a reconnaissance vehicle. See, without those things, they are blind. Now, I did just fire off all of my smokescreen charges, but they just lost a whole lot of their anti-tank capability. There's yet more to come. Easy pickings. Unfortunately for you, you cannot fire those ATGMs if you're moving around. My tanks can. I think that was most of their anti-tank. Now to wait for the vehicles that are backing them up to come in closer. I'm going to also send in a couple of cargos here, and I want another tank to be guarding this flank, making sure that the enemy doesn't sneak up on me like that. Your range is excellent. I just need to make sure you guys are all capable of firing. Angle north, north. Come on, like that. Angle north. Split these guys up. 2 of them. No, both in the woods, please. Like that. Alright, bring on the infantry. Bring on the infantry. Now, I will try to be more aggressive in this campaign. Definitely. But this first encounter has to be done right. It has to play out well. These guys are here to resupply with mostly APS. One down. That's a lot of APS coming in. Or HGMs rather. You're too heavily damaged to fall back. Here come the boomerangs. Looks like they're both killing the infantry and the vehicle. Oh, crap. Oh, was that a reconnaissance vehicle? Because these guys suddenly stopped firing. Yeah, I think that might have been a reconnaissance vehicle. They tried lining up a shot, and then all of a sudden they stopped. And now, once the tanks are firing, they're giving our positions away. And now we're going to see these ATGMs all get destroyed. Perfect. Alright, you can fall back. You're going to get your own cargo. I'm not sure how useful that's going to be, but we'll see. I've only seen a few boomerangs so far. I wonder where the rest are. Also, I want to try and get some eyes on Vladivostok. I do have a couple of support mortars. Let's see if I can make those useful. How are my other tanks doing? Pretty damn fine. I'm also trying to use this opportunity as a way to train up these guys. Get them some veterancy, which should allow me to use them for the rest of the duration of this campaign. And as such, have a group that is already being trained up. Alright, let's move you guys up. I still have 4 other command vehicles. Let's deploy some UBI here. And then bring in a command vehicle to capture Delta. Do not charge with your reconnaissance vehicles. Ah, Mosroki. Nice of you to show up. More boomerangs are coming in. Here we go, this is the infantry push. This is the one that I was waiting for. Hello boomerangs. You're right on time. Running right headlong into a line of 6 tanks. And the infantry just seems to proceed to die right away. Come on, couple more. And that's the last one. Well, for now, that is. Hold there. Again, set up a defensive line, spread out, and hold it. More boomerang. I wonder how good this thing is at off-roading. Oh, a fob. I would love to capture that thing. If only just to resupply. Alright, I'll park you over here. You guys, once you're offloaded, move up. This reconnaissance vehicle needs to hold fire. And I'm going to try to move this thing up a little. Try to spot what's going on in Vladivostok. 1, 2. Three with the infantry. And 4 with the infantry. Perfect. Perfect. Everything seems to be going according to plan. Right up until the point that it doesn't. Now let's have 2 tanks here. And 2 tanks there. I want to start to push out a little bit further. Seeing if we can actually get some more kills here. These things... Wow, those are expensive mortars. 75 points a unit? Yeah, not surprising. They fire 11 HE charges. That probably explains that. These are 240mm rounds. Okay, well let's get 1 ready then. Get a little closer. I hope that we're not immediately going to find that the infantry gets killed off here. Line of sight is terrible. Yours is slightly better, but not by much. That's the problem with this map. It's highly unpredictable. Now, where's that infantry? Ah, command's using the position. That's good. Where is your unit? Boo. That's logistics. Up for grabs by the looks of it. That's a command unit. That's a Volk. And over here we have more boomerangs, who are seemingly not quite sure about their goal. Fair enough. Can we snipe that CV? Seems like we can. They have virtually no armor on them. No, none. Okay. So that should make my life quite a bit easier. Looks like the boomerangs have decided to drop off their infantry early and are now just charging down without any infantry with them. Interesting choice. And meanwhile, the tank should be able to hold these off as I'm working over this command unit. Holy crap! You just one-shot that unit? Calling me impressed. Well, then again, it is an 11 HE weapon, so... yeah, I suppose I could have expected that. Alright, let's start to spend some more points. I'm going to try and push into this section and take over those resupply units. First these boomerangs. I'm trying to lob some shells onto the infantry here, which should save my tank some ammo. But it seems like the weapons or the shells are out of position. Come on, work these over and we can start to push up. There you go. Moving. Also, I would like a command unit in this sector, so that I can bring in a couple of additional units. We're going to have UBI covering this village, making sure we don't suddenly get flanked. Have the tanks push in, capture these trucks, push back out and move over to Foxtrot. That's the plan. These boomerangs seem to be perfectly holding still. They do have some armor on them, but I might be able to at least panic them before my tanks arrive. These things are actually very good off-roaders. 75. Looks like they're pushing up an almost perfect arrow point, or what's that called? An arrow tip formation, I think. Shell arrives. Sort of in the same location. Accuracy is not really their thing, apparently. Contact. Splash one. Boomerangs first. I can handle the Mostrelki. Also, let's start to take over this town. There's another one. Urals are now starting to flee. I'd hate to get surprised by one of those Mostrelki units here. Come on. Close. Oh, what's going on here? You're apparently killing off some transports. At ultra short range. What is that? 300 meters. Here they are. One more. You got him. Good job. Alright, move it in. Command unit in position. ZTZs to move this way. This is infantry, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, that's infantry. Question is, can I keep spotting them from my tanks? Sort of, but inconsistent. How much do these transport? 800 apiece. That's a good catch. Just gonna have to run these guys down. Oh, they captured this. That's interesting. That means I'm gonna have to be a little bit more careful. Because there's a good chance that they have some sort of welcoming committee over there. So the Strokies are done for. You got hardened. Perfect. Apparently we're... Yep, we're done. We need to get a little closer. And there's your cargoes. Alright, perfect. You and you. Set up position here. You're gonna get some infantry for support. The rest of you, that means you, and you. You're coming in this way. We have one unit over here. That's their command unit. That was fairly cheap. In the sense that it was easy to kill. Now they have two sectors, Dongning and Foxtrot. Let's move up and get these guys in Foxtrot. I'm going to send these tanks forward and then around. They should have enough fuel to do it, but in case they don't, I'm going to send some of those captured cargoes back. We have a reconnaissance unit here, but we might as well use a second one. Couple more tanks. So far, it's going really, really well. Oh, crap. I thought I'd captured that position and then called in the units, but apparently that's not quite what happened. Crap. Hold. Push with the tanks. So whatever that is, it's not taking prisoners. Yeah, that's boomerangs. Stationary boomerangs at that. Hold. Push with the chilpan. See if we can stun them first. Hold. As long as my tanks survive, I'm fine. Are they moving? They're moving. Charge. At short range, I wouldn't be surprised if those autocannons can even be lethal to the 99s. Infantry first. It keeps saying ZBD-05 destroyed. But I don't believe I've actually lost any other ZBDs. So what is going on here? Right, UBI to charge. Tanks to come in from two flanks. Reconnaissance. Oh, shit. I hope my APS is up to point. Not really. That's a lot of infantry. Yep, you're done. That's a lot of Motostrelki. So we call on the autocannons. For the moment, they're not actually firing their ATGM, but that's or their anti-tank, but that's about to change. Keep pushing. Keep hitting them. I really like these tanks. I hated fighting them because they're capable of shooting down incoming missiles, deploying smoke screens, dealing with helicopters. But they're... oh, that was a command unit. But they are really very capable tanks. What are you doing? Okay, whatever. Hit that recon infantry unit. Logistics is fine, but we might as well resupply before we actually make the final push. Okay, there's a good chance that this town has a couple of infantry units in there. So time for the Chilpan to start earning their money's worth. What is that? Again, line of sight is challenging. Oh, Cornet. Guess we're not welcome here. APS so far held off these missiles, but I'm starting to run out. Resupply this way. Recon move up. These things do have medium stealth, yes? Yes, they do. That's good news. That means that if they do have some more HGM units parked in the back, they are not as likely to immediately get detected. Infantry units close. Yeah, we still have a fair amount of APS left. Are they pushing here? They seem to be pushing here. Get ready. It's 3 of them. Are those the Cornets? Yes. Those are those Tiger units, which are at such a short range that they really shouldn't be here. Now we're doing some sort of combat resupply. Okay, very nice. Oh, we got him? Yeah, we got him. Anti-tank company destroyed and border regiment has been destroyed. What do we lose? 2 ZBDO5s against 2 boomerangs. Not bad. Most important thing is that these ZTZ-99As got a bit of a workout. They're now capable of doing some more damage. So, that is the first 2 groups gone. We have time for some more this episode. That is provided that this helicopter group can actually make it there, and they can. If I want to engage them this round, then what I need to send in is the infantry group. Because the infantry is the only one who has the mobility to get there. I don't have a lot of cohesion though. That could be a problem. What sort of map is that? Okay, I'm going to start here. They're going to start in Bravo, whatever, everything else. This means that they're going to take a little bit of time to get here. If my units are fast enough, my helicopters that is, I might be able to snipe out all the command vehicles quickly and deal with them that way. But if they come charging down that road with a lot of units, then I do not have any defense. The best armor that they have is 23. What do you have? 21 and 24 AP. Not bad. I have 10 points. You know what? I'll do that next episode. Let's go for the Naval Sector. I would, however, really like to use those aircraft. Those A5s. They're coming in with MiG-29s, which have 4 anti-ship missiles, as we have previously seen in Climb Mount Narodnia, as well as a couple of 4 short-range air-to-air. Now they only really have 2 command ships, improved Krivax. If those things are gone, then I don't think they're going to be putting up that much more of a fight. I start out in a dramatically open sector, so I'm going to have to try and make sure that these things don't get too close. Alright, Nox to sit back. I want the Haubais as a frontline unit. All the aircraft, and another Nox here, and that is it. Yep. Move forward. Okay, so they captured Vladivostok, and I'm thinking they might have also captured that one. Unless the AI starts to flank. You're going to be group 1, and you're going to be group 2. That puts 8 harpoons on target per group. The one thing that this group is missing is a reconnaissance helicopter. That would have been very handy to have. Unfortunately, no such thing in this battle group. So where are your ships? They're close, that's for sure. Oh. Target. Light them up. Light them up, light them up. That should do. Holy crap, that's a lot of HEG or ASMs, not HEGMs. Uh-oh. Bend over and kiss your Haubais goodbye. Three of them left. Time to turn tail and get the fuck out of here. Shit. Lost line of sight. Here you are. Here you are. Here you are. Fuck. That's all of my Haubais dead. Alright, let's see if I can splash a couple. That's one Anushka. And a command ship? What happened? Oh, I killed both of the Krivax. Aha. I thought I'd only killed one, but apparently, just before they went out, the Haubais were able to kill another one. So, that is them gone. Well, David versus Goliath. I'm not sure if that is accurate. So now we can have the Marines move up. And we can go to town. Literally. To Vladivostok. What does that fight look like? That fight looks like I only hold Naval Sector Bravo and they hold everything else. They have 56 infantry units. They have mortars. They have long-range AA, but only one. And a couple of medium-range AA guns. 8 Verba AA. Would an anti-infantry Air Force unit be capable of supporting here? Not those. Not those. Maybe these. But they're fairly expensive. Multi-roll? Yeah, multi-roll. I'm calling in the 9th multi-roll because the Legion can snipe that AA unit, and then the J-10s with their with their napalm bombs can burn as much infantry as possible. But I am going to leave you hanging over here. I'm going to be doing this episode, or this fight, next episode, and same for Dongning. So, join me tomorrow, as we're going to be fighting over Vladivostok and Dongning. For now, I hope you enjoyed that fight in Krevtsovka. I'm really satisfied with the results. Those ZTZ 99s got a good workout, and it was a pretty organized push. It was not just camping, but waiting for the first wave to come in, then take them out, and then move up. So I hope you enjoyed that show of force from the Chinese. There's probably a lot more to be had, and there's probably a lot more Russians that are going to be starting to push back. So that's going to happen in the future episodes. For now, this is it, and I'll see you soon for the next one.